Well, welcome to added time here at Goodison Park. In the fourth round of the League Cup, finished Everton 2, Watford 0. A disappointing night on the road for the Hornets. I'm joined by captain for the night, Heurelho Gomes, and former Watford striker, Danny Webber. We'll hear from Danny shortly. Heurelho, a quick word on the game. Defensively, you were very disciplined for long periods, but it was tough going the other way, and eventually defence was breached.
Yeah, I think we approached the game very well. We especially first half, they didn't had so many chances to score the first half. I believe we defended well, but when the game goes, we needed to keep the ball better in front. But I believe the boys did what the gaffer asked for us to do defensively. But I believe we need a little bit more when we are going forward. So that was the key point for us today.
Danny, as a former striker, what can you see that perhaps is lacking going forward at the moment for the Hornets?
I just think it's that little bit of character. Sometimes just to take the game by the scruff and go and win it. Sometimes you get in the final third, you just need to have the killer instinct a little bit. You get in good positions, beat your man 1v1 and have that little bit of aggression. It just sometimes you turn out and go again. But there's the build-up plays okay. It's just having that little bit of killer instinct for me. Good
to get another game though. I bet you're frustrated though that Richarlison scored against you at the end.
Yeah, of course. It's always good to get a game. Especially for a goalkeeper. It's difficult to come on after a long period without a game, but yeah, he scored. Is that what he's here for, to score? Unfortunately, it was against me.
We've got to kick him out of our dressing room because he won't leave, will he, at the moment. Now, let's talk Brazilian strikers, though, because news tonight, good news coming that 18-year-old Joao Pedro, who Watford signed from Fluminense almost a year ago, has been granted a work permit, so he will join the club from the 1st of January next year. So that's exciting news for Watford fans, and it's going to be another young Brazilian for you to look after. But that's exciting news for all of us, isn't it? And how much do you know about him?
Yeah, this is great news for us. He's a talent player, so he's fast. He can score goals as well. So I believe we are looking forward. I'm looking forward to welcome here in January. So I believe he's gonna do great things for us because he's the type of player that he said a little bit more aggressive that we need sometimes. He's that player that can score goals, and also when we need to keep the balls, he will do it for sure.
Another role for you to play, I guess, as well, because another young lad coming from your home country, for you probably to take under your wing and talk to him about England and the English game and what to expect.
I expect the same thing as I did with Richarlison, I did with Sandro at Tottenham as well. So it's so difficult for young players to come here, especially from the style that the things that we used to have in Brazil. He's totally different. He needs to be looked after, and so I'm still here, and I will do my best for him to adapt quick as I can.
Great stuff. We'll let you go. Thanks for coming out in the freezing cold after playing 90 minutes. But we look forward to talking to you a bit more in the coming days and weeks about the arrival of Joao Pedro. Thank you for tonight, and we'll see you at the weekend. Top man.
Take care. Yeah, see you in a bit.
Danny, what's it like for young strikers? He's going to be a new lad coming into this league.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the position that the club are going to be in come January. But first things first, for a striker coming into the Premier League, what are the sort of things that he's going to have to adapt to and get used to very quickly?
I think flying in from South America, first and foremost, you deal with the weather. If you're coming in January, it's normally South American players coming in the summer, they have time to adapt and gradually get used to the weather. That's going to be the first thing you'll have to get used to. But then it's the physicality of the game, the pace of the game, and knowing full well that people expect you to come in. Coming from Brazil, doesn't matter of your age, people expect you to come in and hit the ground running and score goals. And you'd like to think that the team would have picked up a little bit by then, started to score a few goals, so he's not totally under pressure. But ultimately, that's what people will be demanding.
There's going to be a lot of excitement around his arrival. He's been scoring goals as a 17 and 18-year-old for Fluminense and scoring in big competitions. So how hard is that to come, as you say, to a new country with a level of expectation and probably a little bit of weight on his shoulders if Watford need goals to get them up the league. He's going to need people like Heurelho, probably like Troy, to really nurture him and really sort of show him the ropes and help him out, isn't he?
He will. He'll need the key characters at the club, as you say, the opinion leaders in the dressing room. He'll need those to pull him in and say, listen, this is how we do it. If you need anything, I'm here. As Heurelho said, he's willing to do so, and he's done it with players in the past. It helps when you've got people like Troy, because sometimes doesn't need to speak. He needs to just look at the way he conducts himself, the standards he expects from himself, the work ethic, and the drive that he has. Those kind of things are, they're contagious. So those kind of people he'll look at, he'll need to learn from, because the Premier League's unforgiving and you need to be at the top of your game week in, week out. And I hope he comes in, sets the world alight, because I think the Pozzo family their network's extensive. They've always, if you go back to Udinese and when they're Granada and so on, they've always scouted well, recruited well, done so with Richarlison. Nobody knew about him, and now he's a star. So hopefully Joao Pedro will be one of the next ones to come in and hit the ground running.
Yeah, just briefly on that, we saw them. The first one was Alexis Sanchez that they took out of Chile, wasn't it, at 17, loaned him out, and then ended up selling him for 25 million euros or whatever. Yeah. And you mentioned Richarlison, and of course that brings it back to here and today, and that was some finish, wasn't it, at the end there? Great composure and confidence. But it's another feather in the cap to say. We found an 18-year-old kid who was 16, 17 when we signed him. Yeah. We've already seen other big clubs going, oh, hang on a minute, why did we miss him? And starting to offer big money for him. Yeah. So it's going to be really exciting to see this lad come to Watford. But that's the model of this club. That's the model of the Pozzo family. And it's a scouting network and a model that is second to none, isn't it?
It is. And I think there's many clubs trying to catch up. But, they've been doing it for so many years. They're deep-rooted within South America and other parts of the world, but South America especially. And you need to have your ear to the ground. You need to know people in those regions, not only to identify, but to be able to operate out there. I spend a bit of time out in Colombia, so I know it's a very difficult market to operate in, unless you have the right network in place. So obviously the family and have been doing it very well for years. The other thing is him coming into Watford. I came as a 19-year-old on loan, came on 2 loan spells. The Watford fans, the whole setup of Watford Football Club couldn't be in a better place to come in and nurture and develop your talent. And I just think the fans will give him the opportunity to express himself. They'll get behind him, and that's also a positive for him coming in.
And just finally, the here and now. Okay, we're out the League Cup. Bigger picture is Premier League. We've got Chelsea Saturday, moving on to Norwich before the next international break. And you see enough in this squad to have plenty of positivity going forward that we can get ourselves up the division. Troy coming back hopefully in the next few weeks. That there is going to be enough goals in this team that's going to get us, into safer waters in the Premier League.
Yeah, I do see enough in the squad. I think, you mentioned Troy's coming back in a couple of weeks. He's a big influence on the way Watford play. Not just for now, probably for the past 7 or 8 years. He's the sort of player that opposition see on the team sheet and they think, right, okay, we've got a game on our hands today. Not only that, he's a good footballer. He scores important goals. He brings other people into play. He makes other people up their standards, and that's the kind of person that is key to you scoring goals. If we look at that game out there today, if Troy's playing, he helps Andre Gray up top, because Andre's sometimes up on his own, and trying to battle with defenders, and he puts the odds in your favour. So Troy's a big factor in Watford sort of doing well. But that said, you 1 or 2 results, 1 or 2 wins from things looking rosy again. You always are. The Premier League's it's designed that way. You 4 or 5 games, 4 or 5 losses from feeling like you're going to be relegated. You 4 or 5 wins from rising up the table and feeling good. So it's just about, again, stopping the rot, not conceding goals, and then making sure it might just be a tap in 1-0 that you win, but that gets you up and running.
Well, let's hope that's to come at
hope
Vicarage Road on Saturday evening against Chelsea. Danny, thanks very much for joining us here at Goodison Park tonight.
Pleasure
We'll
to
hope
be
to
here.
see you again soon. Maybe get you down to Vicarage Road for a game soon, and we know we'll see you at Old Trafford, I'm sure. Full time here on added time here at Goodison Park. We're out of the League Cup. 2 second-half goals, one from Mason Holgate and one from our old enemy, but a familiar friend as well, Richarlison, scoring in injury time to give Everton a 2-0 win. That's it from Goodison Park. We'll see you at Vicarage Road on Saturday.
Click there for more videos.
That's it.